So, unless you were living under a rock, you saw yesterday that the Notre Dame in Paris suffered a tragic fire. This is sad for so many reasons. I mean, it's a masterful work of architecture. It has immense political and social and cultural and spiritual significance to the people not just of Paris and not just of France and not just of the wider Catholic faith, but really it's a loss of human triumph. Our collective effort to build something so beautiful and something so durable, something so special. And it's really sad that we've lost that, or we've lost some of it. But there's something here we really need to talk about, folks. More than anything. And it's how some people are trying to just plain lie to you about what caused this fire. Right now, all evidence points to a fire related to renovation work. But if you read people on the far-right internet, on YouTube, but also on places like Twitter, you're seeing people trying to manufacture conspiracy theories that this was caused by Muslims or caused by some other group, trying to destroy a building that has significance either to the Catholic faith or to wider Christendom or to Western civilization or all of those things combined. And it's really despicable. We can go through a few examples here from some fairly important people. So we have Mike Cernovich here, right-wing conspiracy theorist, Pizzagate believer, Pizzagate truther, if you will, saying the West has fallen. Implying here that, this is an attack on Western civilization. And again, in some cases, people on the alt-right, people on the far-right, whatever you want to call them, they don't always go out and say exactly what we're thinking, because their viewers will go there for them. Their dog whistles play out, and their fan bases will go there for them. And this is a prime example. The West has fallen, and what has caused that fall? Well, it's Muslims. So we also have Stefan Molyneux here, famous Canadian alt-right figure on places like YouTube. He says, in sharing the picture of the Notre Dame on fire, says, "We all know what is happening, ghastly beyond words." And again, here, we have to be clear. In this particular case, he doesn't have to actually say what he's implying. It's clear. The Muslims did it, or some other anti-Western, anti-Christian group did it. And his people will go there for him. He can say it later on that Muslims did it, but this also gives him plausible deniability. He says, well, I just implied something. If you took it that way, it's, you're internalizing something. So it's pretty ugly here as well. And I mean, here we have Molyneux also saying, Notre Dame is going down the memory hole. Unless something leaks, nothing will be explained. Which is very close to him basically saying that this is about to be impossible to solve and that we need some brave person to help us find the truth. That this is a conspiracy theory and we're never going to get to the bottom of it unless we do so now. And it's feeding this narrative that this is something that was caused by Muslims and that the powers that be, the globalists or whoever, don't want you to know. They don't want you to know the truth, folks, and you have to help people like him get to the bottom of it. And it really synergizes well with anybody saying, like, our goal is to help find the truth here. And here we have Paul Joseph Watson, anti-feminist, right-wing conspiracy theorist, used to work at InfoWars, saying, quote, "The famous Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is on fire, with one worker claiming that the blaze was deliberately set. Media reports say the fire is linked to quote-unquote renovation work." So here we have, again, this anecdote that this has actually been caused on purpose. And again, it's trying to lay the groundwork for a conspiracy theory. That this was caused by somebody doing deliberate harm to the Notre Dame. And again, given the content of his work and who he associates with and who listens to his channel, it's very easy to see that this will lend people towards going to the fact that this was a, Islamic terrorist attack, a jihadist attack on the Notre Dame. And of course, we have Faith Goldie. As you may know, she's a fairly big alt-right internet personality. Shares the same views on white replacement that motivated the Christchurch shooter in New Zealand, and has been deemed too racist for Facebook and Instagram. Yet she's still allowed to be on Twitter, and she tweets this: Holy Week, check. Exactly 1 month after New Zealand, check. Numerous French church desecrations recently reported. Check. Thwarted ISIS attack on the same target previously. Check. Probably nothing. And of course, as you see here, she is subtweeting the Paul Joseph Watson tweet we just read. So Faith Goldy again here is making a clear implication that all these things are too much of a coincidence to not be connected to a Muslim revenge attack, be it for New Zealand or be it based on this repeated desire to destroy monuments and buildings and places of worship of Christian significance. Again, there's no proof that this was caused by anyone intentionally, let alone a jihadist or a Muslim person or what have you, but Faith Goldy is leading us in that direction. And here we have Ezra Levant from The Rebel, an online Canadian right-wing news source, says, from 2016, terrorist plot foiled at Notre Dame. Just bringing it up as a coincidence, I suppose. Just reminding people that, hey, there was a terrorist attack, the last couple years. It's probably related to this, I guess. There's no proof, but we're going to say it. We're going to say it and let people take it from there. And Ezra's doing this. Particularly despicable from The Rebel is this, tweet they sent out. They're trying to cash in, trying to crowdfund and build their profile off of this tragedy. And they're trying to do so by setting this plausible deniability, but it's still a conspiracy theory. They're not saying who did it. They're saying they're going to go investigate to find the truth. That this random alt-right Canadian website is going to Paris because they're experts on the subject to try to find out what actually happened. And so you read this tweet here. They say, please visit Rebel Paris to support our mission in doing this. And if you go to read some of that mission, it says, Notre Dame Cathedral is going up in flames as a devastating blaze rips through the Parisian landmark. Huge plumes of smoke engulf the church's spire, which has caused it to collapse. We're not conspiracy theorists or rumor mongers. Spoiler, they are conspiracy theorists and rumor mongers. But the world has lost one of its most recognizable religious monuments, and no one knows why. We probably know why. The only real plausible explanation at this point is that it was a renovation fire. So we're going to Paris to ask the questions that no one else will. Who set the fire? Was it indeed an accident? Well, then the goddamn answer here, was it indeed an accident? Who set the fire? So you're leading with a question that invalidates the kind of leading theory right now, which is that it was an accident. And it says here, how is it that Notre Dame survived nearly 900 years, plague, wars, revolutions, the Nazis, etc., but couldn't survive 2019? Well, the building is surviving. The building's been damaged and rebuilt multiple times before. And here again, they make that connection that Ezra did. So they're trying to build this here. They're trying to give the motivation to get the funding, which is based on the fact that, hey, send us there so we can prove that Muslims did this. No one else is going to do it. We're not conspiracy theorists, but it's probably the Muslims, and we need to go there and prove it. Please fund our trip. And they say here, is it in any way related to the 2016 terrorist plot against Notre Dame, one member of which was just sentenced recently? If you value our hard-hitting journalism and want to support us on this trip, please click here to help out. So again, you can see here, all of these sources, a saddeningly large number of them being Canadian, are going after this narrative that this was not an accident and that Muslims did this. They either say it implicitly or explicitly, depending on the context, but the intended result is clear. And it's to set up a scenario where their readership and those like them will make the logical leap to the Muslims did this. They don't care about Western civilization. They are celebrating this. You could see tweets of online. You could see YouTube videos talking about how Muslims were celebrating this, cheering this on. Really trying to build this narrative. And that's where they're going. But you might ask yourself, like, what's the point of this? Because they can say all of this now, but what happens when it comes out that it probably was caused by a renovation fire? That's the cause. There's no malice here, be it from Muslims or terrorists of any kind or what have you. What are they going to do? Are they going to backtrack? Is this going to hurt their credibility? Well, you know what this is really about. It's not about credibility. It's not about accuracy. It's about setting narratives and perpetuating narratives. The people who consume these sources, they're not going to care. Faith Goldie, Ezra Levant, all of these sources, they've said, well, this is probably caused on purpose by people who hate the West. And maybe it's related to a revenge attack from New Zealand. We're just asking questions. And then they'll stop talking about it. Most likely, if they're proven false. But the narrative's been set. The money's been raised. The followers have been earned. The retweets and likes have flown through. That ability to, in the immediate term, capitalize on people's prejudice and hatred has already been exploited. So it doesn't matter. We're in a situation now where people are hoping and praying that this was caused by terrorists because it serves their worldview and because it serves their financial interests. They can fundraise off this, they can build followings and movements off this, or they can find people who share their hope that we're entering a cultural war. For them, it would be sad if this was an accident. The Notre Dame fire is a tragedy, no matter how it was caused. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or Muslim or of any other faith or of no faith at all. The Notre Dame Cathedral is a testament to the collective achievement of humanity. And it's sad to lose some of it, even some of it. So from my perspective, guys, I think it's clear. We shouldn't tolerate, we shouldn't see as legitimate these sorts of voices. The sort of voices that, in the immediacy of these tragedies, seek only to spread misinformation, or at the very least to imply it to their already impressionable followers, so that they can raise notoriety, they can stoke the fear that they want to, and then they can cash in, financially on the matter. We shouldn't tolerate that. We should call these voices out, and we should be very clear that those people who hope for hate are usually the ones causing it. So thanks, guys, for listening. If you want to see more videos like this, more videos largely on Canadian politics, please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope to see you guys again. Remember, call out this hate, fight back against it.